Retro PC Durham, Chris here. We have a PC parts pickup, drop off, something video here where we got a bunch of stuff. So Durcom on Kijiji contacted me on one of my donation ads that I have up, and yeah, he came and dropped some stuff up for the channel so that we can do some build-ups, and it's a lot actually. Starting off this lovely collection. I hope you enjoyed my artistic representation of something. This is my new inventory of monitors. So we've got a number, I think it was 13. We'll count right now. We'll get the, Sesame Street. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 Dell 17-inch LCD panels. These are, I'll tell you the model. So I pinched my finger. These are 1707 PFT, 1707 PFT monitors. And then the one on the very front here is also a Dell monitor, but this is a 19-inch. And this is a 1907 FPT. There you go. So one 19-inch and a bunch of 17-inch monitors. Well, these are perfect for donation machines. Because if you're just doing desktop graphics or some browsing and stuff, you don't need a big fancy, multi-FPS gaming monitor. Perfect. And they all do VGA and DVI, so I've got a little bit of flexibility in terms of ports and stuff. Then I have two computers that Durcom dropped off. One is this Compaq. So this is a Compaq Presario CQ5000 series. So this would be an AM2 Plus Athlon 2 board. I might have a processor upgrade for this available, but it'll probably still be like a dual-core processor. We'll be able to run Windows 10 though. So this is designed for Windows 7, so we'll be able to make a Windows 10 machine out of this and pair it up likely with one of these monitors to go out the door. And then we have this thermal tape case here, which inside, I'll remove the panel here. Just make sure the thumb screws don't disappear. I'll put them in front of the monitor. We'll take our side panel off. It's a little bit dusty, but inside we have this silencer 400 watt ATX power supply, and it looks like it's a modular power supply. It's a combination, modular and non-modular. That's interesting. I don't have a ton of experience with modular power supplies, but it's got the 24-pin and 8-pin CPU hardwired, because obviously you'd need that in any computer, so why make it modular? But then it's got modular cables for everything else. So as long as whatever gets built using this PSU only needs these two modular cables, we should be fine. And the reason I say that is because modular systems often don't have an industry standard for how these cables are wired. So you don't want to just grab a modular cable from another power supply and plug it into this one, because you could blow everything up. So don't do that. Just use the ones that it came with. Inside here we've got this Gigabyte G41MT-D3 motherboard. So this is a socket 775 board. It looks to be in good shape, so it may be reusable. So this could be a good machine if it doesn't already have a Core 2 Quad processor in it, that we can upgrade this to a Core 2 Quad. And then we've got two DIMM slots here, so we'll see if we can do something special with this. If not, at least it'll be able to run a nice 4 gig Core 2 Quad build for a donation machine if we can't make it do something else. Yeah, so pretty cool, and a good, good quality case that we can keep around. So I'll put that down here, and the next thing we're going to do is we'll take a look at what's in these boxes and bags. So there's quite a bit of cool stuff here that Durcom donated, and I wonder if maybe he was cleaning out like an old tech lab or something, because there's some interesting items that are in here. The first is he has two of these 8-port USB KVM switches. One of them he said is broken, which I assume is this one that's got the stuff broken off of it. There's two, right? And basically it's, you switch between the PCs with the buttons, and on the back you've got a VGA cable, and it would be a USB port, USB cable, and then you hook your console up here, and you can just switch back and forth, and whatever 3 USB devices you have here. It's pretty old. I mean, these aren't state-of-the-art KVM switches by any means. But if you ever needed to set up a tech bench or something with multiple machines, I don't know if I have enough physical room inside my office to do something like that, let alone the desire to try and like image multiple machines. The most I've done is like 3 or 4 at one time. So it's possible we could do something like that down the road. Okay, let's start taking a look at these cables. There's a lot of stuff in this box. So we've got VGA cables. I'm gonna have to sort through all of these. There's this pile of cables. Here's a D-Link. Here's a D-Link. What is this? A DES 1005E. So it looks like it's just a simple 5-port switch, dumb switch. Actually, you know what? If this still works, I have a router that I set up on at my bench that I use to kind of be able to have multiple NIC connections, and it's got like a Wi-Fi thing that I have disabled. I wonder if I would use this instead, because I basically never enable that Wi-Fi because it's only like wireless G. That this would be a lower power solution and not require me to configure anything with it. We'll keep this. We might keep this around to use in the bench area. We've got a whole bunch of looks like wireless cards for laptops. So there's a wireless N, and this one is a Intel vPro, which I think should be wireless N as well. This is a slightly larger one, and it's a 3 antenna unit, so that might be wireless G, and I'm not sure. That looks like maybe like a Ethernet or Bluetooth card, but nice to have these little laptop network adapters. You never know sometimes if you get like a binned laptop that someone pulled this stuff out and you can get it up and running. You need these kinds of things, and as long as they're not blacklisted, you can get stuff going. We've got some memory DIMMs here. Let's take a look and see what Duracom has to offer us. So 2 gig PC2, 2 gig PC2, 2 gig PC2, 2 gig PC2. So 8 gigs, 4 DIMMs of DDR2. Perfect, because on stuff like these Core 2 Duo and Athlon machines, if we only have 2 DIMM slots, having 2 gig DIMMs is all we need. A couple more optical drives here. Both of these are SATA, so SATA DVD multi-burners. Not a lot of use for these, but I guess it's always helpful to have them around if you've got a case that you don't have slot covers for. You can at least put a DVD RAM drive in. And we have a CD-ROM driver, version 2.1, not for resale. So I won't put this up on eBay. Because I don't want to get in trouble from whatever company made that. We have a sound card in here. This looks like a very inexpensive late generation PCI sound card. Given how small everything is. The part number I have on here is 30-208PI-004-25A. Yeah, it's got a CD in with a jumper connection to enable for Sony, ID, and Panasonic, and the chip on here is an HSP56, HRTF Audiocom. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is, but it seems like this may be like a generic late model PCI audio card that's maybe emulating something else that's been picked up. That's kind of they licensed from ESS or something and just made a card that does the same thing. We have another. This looks like the exact same sound card. We've got some more cables. Lightning cable. And an old Apple charge cable. We have another switch here. So we have a Cisco Systems 10100 5-port workgroup switch, right? So uplink in 5 ports. Not much use for this in the office because I have gigabit already at the workbench, but an older network switch. More cables. This is mostly looks like it's USB cables, and there's the power cable I think that came from that switch. There's a cathode power here. Which I will carefully separate from the USB cable pile. So it's broken. I don't know if you can see that, but it is broken. So that's not going to be getting used, and it's Vantech. So this came out of a Windows XP Uber machine. Network cable, an HDMI cable, more power cables. I'm not going to try and sort through all these on the video here, but that's a weird, what is this? HDMI to USB to HDMI cable? I'm not even sure what this thing is, but it's something weird. I don't know, maybe that's some kind of output cable or something. Another one of those sound cards. Sound Blaster 16 PCI driver disc. Maybe we'll keep that around. Maybe we can put that on archive.org if something like that doesn't already exist. Generic driver installation disc for card. So if you do have a card, you can install the drivers for your card. One of those adapters for a drive. Oh, we've got another card driver installation that's not in the envelope, so hopefully that's not ruined. More memory DIMMs. Take a look at these guys. So in here we have 1 gig DDR2, another 2 gig DDR2, 1 gig DDR2, 1 gig DDR2, 1 gig DDR2. So one 2 gig DIMM and then a bunch of 1 gig DIMMs. 1 gig DIMMs we keep around. Sometimes we get those boards that have 4 slots on them, but normally the 2 gigs are much more valuable. We have another sound card driver. This is an X-Wave series sound card driver for the X-Wave 3000, 4000, 5000, 6000, and Solo 1. So it doesn't look like it's the same card that's on the drawing on this one. So as those ones that are in the box, we have a non-normal designed power supply here. If you think you recognize what this is for, you let me know. It's got a 6-pin power, and then this P2, a fan control, and a CPU. So this looks like maybe this was out of like an HP. I can see right here. So this is an HP power supply off of some non-industry standard design, and this is probably like the non-standard CPU power that they had. And they make things that they don't want people to be able to upgrade, which is so consumer friendly. More power cables. Some brackets and things, and one more bag of DIMMs here. So 1 gig DDR3, 1 gig DDR3, 1 gig DDR3, and 1 gig DDR3. So we got more DDR3 memory. The 1 gig DIMMs for DDR3 are not so bad because usually on the machines that have DDR3 DIMM support, I think a lot more often they have at least 4 slots, but DDR3 is always helpful to stick around for those machines. So that's it for that box. Let's take a look at the next set. So we've got more stuff here. I'm just going to show you the bag of cables. So this is like all power cables and one VGA cable that I removed from the 19-inch drive, or 19-inch monitor, sorry. So cables. Got a lot of cables. It's always nice to have an inventory of cables. I have plenty, and now I have plenty more. All right, last box. Whoa, look at this. How about a D-Link DSS-16 Plus 10100 fast Ethernet switch. And this is a 16-port Ethernet switch. So again, I don't have much use for this. At the speed level, I would do 1 gig, but 10100 is probably a little too slow for me. But yeah, kind of cool. We have a graphics card. So GeForce. Can you stop now? Are you done? Are you done? Yeah? Everything okay? All right. I think the dogs are finally done barking at whatever they were afraid of. So GeForce GT 720, not a great card by any means, but a perfectly acceptable card for a basic setup, and a very good display adapter. Okay. We've got some laptop memory. Come here, laptop memory. So in here we have, this is a PC2, so DDR2, 1 gig, 2 gig DDR2, 2 gig DDR2, this is a kit from a kit. So a 2 gig, and a 2 gig. So a bunch of 2 gig DDR2 DIMMs, that's great. The 1 gig DIMM's probably not very useful for being able to put together in a machine, because you're going to usually only have 2 slots in a machine, in a laptop. But those 2 gig DIMMs are really helpful. So as I get laptops again, I haven't had laptops to donate in quite some time, but as I do get them again now, I've got memory. We have an Asus video card here that looks like it was in a low profile machine because it's got the low profile adapters. There usually is a different full size slot that you can move this VGA port over to. And this is a 6450. So Radeon HD 6450, passive cooling on this one. So you want to make sure we got fans inside whatever machine this goes into. But this is a perfectly acceptable, probably 512, maybe 1 gig. Yeah, 1 gig DDR3 memory. So again, a perfectly acceptable display adapter for a basic machine. No issue with having another one of those available. And then we have a Creative CT4750. That's a pretty okay card. I think 4750 is one of those cards that is a later model again, but pretty good stability and not a lot of issues in terms of functionality. So it's PCI based, of course, but I've got lots of Sound Blaster cards, as I'm sure you do as well. But it's never a bad thing to have another one, just in case the ones that you have gone bad, so to speak. We have a nice little neoprene Logitech bag, inside of which we have a Bluetooth mouse. So I often don't have a lot of mice and keyboards, so having this will be good. The only thing, of course, will be necessary is whatever computer this gets paired up with needs to have a Bluetooth adapter on it. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe if this gets paired with like a broken up laptop or something that's being repurposed to turn into like a desktop only, that we can use a Bluetooth mouse to go with it, to pair with it. I think I've got an old Dell machine that's in pretty bad shape that could be repurposed, that this could match up with, but nice little neoprene carrying case. And then, yeah, cables. Lots and lots of cables. We've got some kind of a Fitbit. You need a Fitbit. I've already got a Fitbit, so I don't need another one. And then we've got some USB adapters of some kind, and I'm not sure if these are maybe for that for these KVM switches, but they're like USB-A to the USB whatever powered connector on it. Anyways, that's that. So that's our whole look. This is all the stuff from this donation. This is great for DIRCOM to provide this. I've got so much stuff here to be able to add to my inventory for donation machines and other stuff, and always really appreciate getting these packages. So yeah, hope you enjoyed taking a look at all this stuff with me. If you got, please comment down below if there's stuff that you recognize or don't recognize or want to correct me on. Always appreciate it. Okay, so I've moved everything inside into my office area, and now it's just a matter of finding a place to put it all until I can use it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. As always, I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and we'll catch you in the next one.